Good afternoon, everyone. So it's Tuesday once again. That's Choose English Day. And we're back, of course, for English 7. Now, this time we're going to have our week 7. That will be the last lesson for English 7. So I hope everybody is already very excited for our lesson for this afternoon. By the way, I would also like to greet, of course, everyone who are here with us. Of course, we have the parents, we have the teachers, we have school admin also, and of course, our dear learners who are joining us together with Tutor Arnel from SDO Pasig. We are your guides for English 7. That's every Tuesday from 1:40 to 2:20 p.m. And you can always watch us or have us in Facebook, of course. That's the DepEd Itulay Facebook page. And you can also see us in DepEd Itulay in YouTube. So please subscribe. Don't forget that so you can learn, and you can also share this with your friends, with your classmates, with your classes so we can help one another. And for this week, we have the following topics, and we are going to focus on week 7. That will be writing an informative essay. And of course, we will be having Recognition Day next week. So I hope everybody will be here again on our Recognition Day. So that's a very exciting event. So for this week, we have prepared the topic, and that would be writing an informative essay. And we would like to thank our module reference for this afternoon. We have quarter 4, module 7. That would be from the central office of the Department of Education. Thank you very much. And so we have our objectives. First, of course, we have the objective of the mind, and that is to define informative essay. And then we also have the objective of the heart, which is to realize the value of correcting or of writing correct informative essay. And the last would be the objective of the skills, and that would be to compose an informative essay. Uh, at the end of our tutorial session, of course, we will be checking if we were able to meet all these objectives for week 7. So you have to find that out. Now, before we proceed, let me first have this very important announcement of our exemplary duties for quarter 4, week 6 session, which was handled, of course, by Tutor Arnel. So, of course, we have the following. First one, we have exemplary duty number 1, and that would be Mark D. Platon, a student alumnus of Sagad High School. That's from SDO Pasig. Congratulations, Mark. And then we also have number 2, Samantha D. Blasi of 7 Diamond Liano National High School. That's from SDO Caloocan. And we also have our exemplary duty number 3. That would be Alriza Zidane Gaza from 7M Del Pilar, Pampanga High School, SDO City of San Fernando. Congratulations to our 3 exemplary duties for quarter 4, week 6. And thank you very much for always being with us and for always learning with us. And so I now greet our early birds for this afternoon. We have Grace Ernie Echo. Wow. What is this name? Echo Yan from our YouTube channel. Good afternoon, Grace Ernie. And then we also have Desiree Ann Palisok from Mangahan High School. And we also have, of course, our exemplary duty, Samantha D. Blasi from Liano High School, SDO Caloocan. Thank you very much for being very early, consistent, very early. Thank you very much for always showing up in our Itulay session. And I hope that you are really, really learning with us. So now let's have a quick review of whatever you have learned from Tutor Arnel. So this is what you're going to do. I have here some graphic organizers. So before we continue, let us have that again. We have a viewer from Massachusetts. Now we're going international now. So that's Janet Flood Patayon. And she's saying hello to Aksha Patayon from grade 7 KNHS Marikina City for school year 2021-2022. And then we also have some teachers here, Mr. Rolf Cedric San Juan from Mangahan High School. Thank you very much for always supporting Itulay. So again, going back to our review, you will be doing this first activity. So what you're going to do is to complete. I have here some graphic organizers, and you're going to supply the appropriate information that you have learned from the previous lesson. Now this is very very easy. Now if you are already prepared for our activity, you're very much excited for our first activity, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, again, if you are now ready for our first activity, please give me a thumbs up. So I will proceed with our first activity, and that would be the review session. So we now have um, some thumbs up here from Jeric, from Alriza also, from Renz, from John Michael Janko. Thank you very much. That only means that you're very much prepared for this afternoon. So let us start with our first graphic organizer. Now, last time, Tutor Ernell already mentioned about this. We have two for characters personality. Okay, so you discussed that, the different types of characters. Now, let us have this first. For characters personality, what are the two types that you can have for characters personality? What are these two answers for our graphic organizer number one? So, what are those answers? Now, while we're waiting for the answers, let us just greet Miss Josa Espiritu from LFG Diamantina National High School. That's from grade 7 Hope. And then we also have Carl Jorans Gabayan from also from LFG Diamantina National High School. And we also have Daniela Adelaide Dison from MHS 10 Aeolus, and Renz Guyver from Imelda Integrated Secondary School, SDO Malabon. Okay, thank you very much. So now we have an answer here from Jeric Garobo. He says it's flat and the other one is round. Mark Platon also mentioned about flat and round. Is that correct? Let us check. The first one, is it flat? Very good. That's flat. And then the other one is round. So very good. You got 2 points now for our review. Now let's proceed with our second graphic organizer. Okay, so a while ago we had characters personality. This time we're going to have characters growth. Now, what are the two types for characters growth? So we're still in the different types of characters. Okay, so again, what are the two types for characters growth? Okay, so now we have an answer here from Jeric Garobo again. So we have static and dynamic. According to Alriza Zidane, that's also static and dynamic. And then from Cyrus, we have dynamic and static. Let us see what are the correct answers for items number 3 and number 4. We have static, and the other one is dynamic. Very good. Now, if you got 4 for this review items, please give me a happy face. Again, if you got 4 for our review activity, please give me a happy face. So we only have 4 items for our review. If you got a perfect score, please give me a happy face. Now we got our first 4 happy faces from Alriza Zidane Gaza, followed by Samantha Blasi. And then we also have John Michael Janko, Jeric Garobo, Ian Carl Hakolbe. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all those who got perfect score of 4 for our first activity. Now, for those who have errors, of course, don't forget that we still have some more activities, so you can always do better with the next activities. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, we have here on our slide the 4 macro skills in English. So, what do you think are these 4 macro skills in English? Okay. If you still remember, of course, from English grade 1 up to English of college, we always have macro skills that we are developing. What are these 4 macro skills in English. You just give me one, or you want to give the four, it's your choice. So give the answers on our comment section before I flash all these 4 macro skills. What do you think are these 4 macro skills? Now, before that, let's proceed. Let's greet Janiel Von Morales and Aliana Shane Ocampo, who are with us today. So we have Renz Guyver with reading, another for Renz with listening, another for Renz with writing, and another for Renz with speaking. Okay, Alrisa, that's listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And then for Samantha, we have listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Let us check if your answers are correct. The first macro skill is, okay, these are the pictures. Okay, first, of course, we have speaking. So, Amir Timbre, you got it correctly. And then, of course, our second picture is about listening. Okay, that's very good, Alriza. And then the next one, the third one is reading. So Janiel got it correctly. And then, of course, the last macro skill is writing. So those are, or these are the 4 macro skills in English that we need to develop. Now, for this particular session, we are going to focus on writing. Okay, that's writing. Now, what do we usually write? Okay, if your teacher would ask you to write, what do you usually write? Okay, that's the question now. So, of course, you hold your pencil, you hold your ball pen, and what do you write? Okay, when your teacher asks you to write, what are these things that you write? So, let us have your comments now in our comment section. Let us see, what do my learners do, or what do they usually write? So let's have the answers now from Samantha. Notes po. Very good. Next, Mark Platon. We usually write our insights. That's good. Renz, your name. Very good. Don't forget that. So, of course, when you are asked to write, that's the usually, right? The first one that you will be writing. Now, for our answers here, we will also be writing the following. We write words, your name, your notes, of course, those are words. And then you have sentences, and then you have paragraphs, and then you have letters, of course. Now, all these are examples of things that you write. But for this particular lesson, we will be writing essays. Okay? So now, what are the things that we have to take note of with essays? So this is what we're going to discuss now. First is, of course, the etymology of the word essay. The word essay is derived from the French infinitive essayer, which means to try or to attempt. And of course, in English, essay first meant a trial or an attempt, and it is still an alternative meaning. So don't forget, that's the etymology or the origin of the word essay. Now, another thing that we need to know, what is the definition of an essay? So, essay is an analytic, interpretative, or critical literary composition that is usually much shorter, less systematic, and formal than a dissertation or a thesis. And also, it often deals with its subject from a limited and often personal point of view. Okay, so don't forget that these are the definitions of the word essay. Next, the next question is, why do we have to write essays? Of course, sometimes you're asking, why is it that my teacher is always asking me to write essays? And she's asking me a lot of types of essays to write. So these are the main reasons why you have to write essays. First, essays will sharpen your mind. So when you read or when you write an essay, of course you're going to think about different information. So that is a way of sharpening your minds. Another thing, it will also make you more creative. Remember, if you still remember our past lessons, I was already telling you about the different ways on how to write a paragraph, on how to write an essay. So if you're going to make use of these styles, Therefore, you are already making yourselves more creative. And apart from that, of course, the ability to share something from your mind is definitely a plausible act. Now, we have one word here, plausible. Okay, so this might be not a familiar term for you, so we're going to define this. When you hear the word plausible, remember that it only means reasonable or believable. Okay, don't forget that. So you have to practice using that. Instead of saying reasonable, you say plausible. Okay, so that's an addition to your word bank. Next, writing an essay successfully requires a lot of planning. So, what do I have to remember about this? Remember the quote by Alan Lakin: failing to plan is planning to fail. So, if you did not plan to write on your essay, therefore, you are also failing on writing that essay. So you really have to plan. Now, why or how do I plan in writing the essay? Now, this is what you're going to do. First, how will we write essays? So if your teacher asks you to write an essay, you have to think about this. How will I write my essay? These are the tips. First, decide what kind of essay to write. So make sure that you know the topic. Don't forget that, because that's very important. It will serve as a guide for you to write on a specific topic. So your ideas will be interconnected with one another. Next, brainstorm your topic. Think of the many ideas, think of the many information about your topic. Next, research the topic. Remember, research is very important. We already discussed this in our previous lessons. And of course, when you do research, you will also know which is fact and which is not true. Okay, so you have to remember that. Next, choose a writing style. So this is where you get creative. Okay, so you now think, how will I write the introduction? How will I be discussing this in the body? How will I be ending? Or will I be summarizing this through my conclusion? So those are the writing styles that you have to think about. Next, you develop your thesis. We will be discussing about the thesis later. So the next one is outline your essay. So I know that it's a part of the lessons in English about learning how to write an outline. So you can do that, because that will also serve as a guide for easier writing of your essay. And then that's the only time that you will be writing the essay. See that? So you don't automatically write the essay. You have to follow 6 steps first before you start writing your essay. And after writing, your work doesn't stop there, because you still have to edit your writing to check spelling, grammar. You also have to check punctuations and capitalizations. So don't forget that you have to do everything. So this is pre-writing. Pre-writing, that's before writing. You decide what kind of essay to write, brainstorm, research, choose a writing style, develop your thesis, and then outline your essay. That's pre-writing or before writing. And then the writing proper is where you write the essay. Okay, always in always uh, having in your mind the 6 pre-writing steps that you had. And then after that, you proceed with your post-writing step, and that would be editing your writing. So don't forget, we have three divisions. We have pre-writing, the writing proper, and of course we have post-writing. So don't forget that. And of course, the next thing that you will now ask is, what about informative essay? My teacher was telling me, please write an informative essay, and I really don't know what it is. So this is informative essay. Informative essay is written as literary essay piece with the purpose of educating a target audience or readers regarding a certain topic or subject. Okay, from the term itself, informative. Inform. So you are informing your audience, you are informing your readers about a certain topic or subject. So it is very, very important that you do research before giving the information, because your readers will be misinformed if you are going to give them a wrong information about that topic. So research is very, very important. And you are intended, or I mean, it is intended also to present or expose something while at the same time avoiding presenting arguments or personal opinions from the writer. That's the reason why informative essay is sometimes called expository essay, because you're exposing an information. Okay, just like John Michael Janko was telling, sometimes the teachers would would ask you to write about recent experiences, memorable events, so also some notes. And then we also have something here from Janiel von Morales. We are usually given a task which revolves around writing an essay. Yes, that's very true. So we will not be doing away with essay. Essays will always be part of English, so you really have to stick this into your minds. This is very important. Next, what are the parts now of an informative essay? If I'm going to write an essay, I need to know what are the parts that I need to write. So these are the parts. First, the introduction. So the introduction would serve as something that would attract the reader's attention. So it is also very important that the introduction is something catchy. Okay? Something that would get the attention of your readers. So you can start by writing questions. You can also start by narrating something and or a quote, an excerpt of a poem, an excerpt of a story, a song also. But just make sure that whatever introduction you're going to use, make sure that it is really connected to the topic. Okay, so you're not just going to choose a quote. Be sure that it is connected with your topic. Okay. Next, after the introduction, we now proceed to the body. The body would serve as the longest part of your essay, and that is where you give the different information that your readers must know about the topic. So the body is also very important because this is the meatiest part of your essay. Okay, this is where you give all the information that your readers must know. So after the body, what happens next? You write the conclusion. Okay, sometimes the conclusion may also be a question that you give your readers, or oftentimes it would give a summary of the main points that you have given in your body of the essay. So all this are the parts of an informative essay. Now after that, of course, we will also be writing in the thesis, or I mean in the introduction, we are going to include a thesis statement. Now, what is a thesis statement? The thesis statement is a one sentence statement that expresses the main idea of an essay or text. So, this is always in the introduction, okay, or on your first paragraph. So, because the thesis statement will be one of those things that will attract your audience, or I mean your readers, about the main idea or your main point as a writer. Okay, so that would be the thesis statement. Always remember that. And of course, now how will you write an informative essay? We have three things to remember. First, think of the topic. Next, create a format. And then, of course, the last one is to present your ideas or where you will be doing the writing. So these are the things that you have to remember in writing an informative essay. So now the next thing I have here a picture that would give us a summary of informative writing, and that is encapsulated in the word inform. We have, it's an acronym, of course. The first letter of inform is, it means include an opening paragraph to introduce the topic. And then letter N, name facts in the body paragraphs of your essay. Letter F, follow the facts with supporting sentences. And then letter O is to organize your writing with transition words. Letter R is to refer to the topic and include key vocabulary. And the last letter would be M, and that is to make a closing paragraph that relates to the topic. So this summarizes everything about how to write an informative essay. Don't forget that. And so now let us try to test if you learned something from me today. So this is very easy. You're just going to identify the answers for the following items. And I have written here some key letters as your guide. Okay, so these are terms that I have discussed this afternoon. So let us have, this will be our second activity. Let us have our first item. Our first item is this. In English, essay first meant a trial or blank, and it is still an alternative meaning. What do you think is this letter A, which means a trial? Okay, what do you think is the answer for number one? So if you would like to answer, just type in your comments and I will be checking. We now have an answer from Samantha, and she said it's attempt. Let us check. Is that attempt? Very good, Samantha. That's attempt for number one. Very good. Next, let's have number two. For number two, it is an essay written as literary essay piece with the purpose of educating a target audience or readers regarding a certain topic or subject. What do you think is the answer for number two? Again, it is an essay written as literary essay piece with the purpose of educating a target audience or readers regarding a certain topic or subject. What is the letter I for that? We now have an answer from Jerick, from John Michael, from Aliana, from Janet, from Alriza, from Mark also. And they say it's informative. Let us check. What's the answer for number two? Very good. That's informative. You got that second item correctly. Let's proceed with number three. Okay, number three, it is the first part of the essay which is used to attract the attention of the readers. Again, it is the first part of the essay which is used to attract the attention of the readers. What is this letter I for the third item? Carlo Miguel Malonzo. Introduction. We also have Samantha and Renz and Janet and Amir and Rysel with the same answer. So let us check. Very good. That's introduction for number three, the first part of the essay. Next, let's have number four. For number four, it summarizes the points given in the essay. It starts with the letter C. What is this? Letter C that summarizes the points given in the essay. What do you think is the correct answer for number four? According to Carlo Miguel, it's conclusion. We also have another answer here from Rizel, conclusion also. Samantha is conclusion. John Michael is conclusion. Let us check if that's correct. Okay, number four, that is correct. The answer is conclusion or the summary of the points or summarizing the points given in the essay. Let's proceed with our last item for our second activity. Okay. The blank statement is one sentence statement that expresses the main idea of an essay or text. What is this letter T? Which is a statement or a one sentence statement that expresses the main idea or essay or I mean of an essay or text. According to John and Flood Patayan, it's theses, and according to Samantha, to Janiel, Rizal, Alriza, Aliana, Mark, Amir, and Carlo, it's also the same answer, thesis. Let us check. The correct answer is thesis. So you got that correctly. Now, if you got five items correct, let us have five hearts. Again, if you got five answers correct, let us have five hearts on our comment section. So let us now check who among our learners got five hearts or a perfect score for our second activity. We now have five hearts from Renz. Congratulations, Renz. Also from Lady Vera, from Samantha Blasi, Aliana Shane, Rizel also got five hearts. Janet with five colorful hearts. Alriza also with and Amir with 5 points. And the same with John Michael, with Renz, with Carlo, with Jerick, with Janiel, and with Alriza and Daniela. Thank you very much for all those hearts. That only means that you really learned something today. Thank you very much for that. So we now proceed with our last activity, not just for this afternoon, but for our last activity for the school year. Let us now evaluate your knowledge about this afternoon. So I have here a picture. Of course, you're going to fill the flowers with three terms or three learnings that you have gained in today's session. So this is our picture. So you see there flowers in full bloom. Why flowers? Because I believe that your learnings really bloomed this quarter. So I chose the flowers that would signify your learnings. Now you can choose three terms. Okay, just type in three terms that you have learned. You can also have longer answers like three learnings that you have gained, and that should be placed on the flowers that we have here. Okay, actually, we have learned a lot. Not just three flowers would have that. It would have a bouquet of flowers if we're going to have them. But I would like to simplify the instruction with three flowers only. So, Renz, number one is think of a topic. Number two is create a format. And then number three is present your idea. Very good, Renz. Those are three things that you have learned for this afternoon. That is about writing your informative essay. Thank you very much, Renz, for sharing those three flowers that you gained for today. How about the others? So I think they are still writing their answers. Okay, let us have that now. While they are still writing their answers, let me just congratulate the following people who got perfect scores for our last activity. We have John, Arvin, Daniela, also, and Janet and Rizel. Congratulations. Now, we have now answers here from Alriza. In writing an essay, we have introduction, body, and conclusion. Very good. Three. Samantha, we have three also. Parts of an essay, creating an informative essay, and be more creative. Thank you very much. You got that. Aliana, think of a topic, create a format, and present your idea. Very good. So you also got three important things that you have learned in today's lesson. So we still have to wait for some more. I am very, very proud of our learners today. Actually, I'm not just proud of you today. I'm very proud of who you have become from day one of our Eat to Live session. And now we are down to our last lesson. Okay. That only means one thing, that you are very much worthy of the recognition next week. I'm really proud of all of you. Okay, now according to John at Flagpatayan, we have three also: brainstorm and research the topic, outline, and write your essay. That's four. Thank you very much for that. And for Mark, we have three also: introduction, we have body, and conclusion. Thank you very much for that. So those are the three parts of an essay. And according to Renz, ang cute ng flower. Thank you very much, anak, for the flowers. Okay, thank you for that comment. And according to Rizel, be creative when you're writing an essay. Research the topic of your essay and know the parts of an essay. 3 points also for Rizel Caballero. Thank you very much. So, do we still have some more? John Michael Janko. Plausible. Okay, that's reasonable or logical. Number two, essay has three parts: that introduction, body, and conclusion. And then number three is creating an informative essay. Thank you very much for those three learnings, John Michael Janko. Okay, and I hope that the others who are still typing in their answers really learned a lot also. And I would like to also have this time to thank everybody who have stayed with us from day one up to the last day. Thank you very much for your very strong support, not just to our session, of course, not just in English 7, but for the rest of all our subjects, for all the tutors in all learning areas. Thank you very much for always supporting DepEd. And I hope na itulay talaga namin yung inyong mga needs. Now that we are having our online classes, I hope we were able to help really. Okay, and I hope that you are really learning. Thank you very much. And of course, we would like to say one more last question, last answer, two last answers from Amir Timbre: how to write an essay, how to create an informative essay, and parts of an essay. Thank you very much for that, Nak. And we also have from Janiel Von Morales. Ito, Janiel is very particular. The red flower, I learned how to properly write an essay. And then we have the pink flower, the distinct beauty and the characteristic of an informative essay. And then we have the violet flower for the different parts of an informative essay, which includes introduction, body, and conclusion. Thank you very much, Janiel, for that very wonderful answer. Pang Miss Universe. Thank you for that answer. And now, of course, let me say in summary, these are the things that you will always have to remember. The essay, of course, started from the word essayer, which means to try or to attempt. That would also be the same in English. And then, of course, why do we have to write essays? That is to sharpen your minds, to create, to be creative, and don't forget that you have to share something from your mind, and that is plausible, and plausible is reasonable and believable. Don't forget that. And how will you write an informative essay? We have three things: think of a topic, create a format, and present your ideas. And of course, let us check if we were able to have all our objectives. Did we meet everything? First objective of the mind, which is to define an informative essay. Did we do that? Yes, we did that. Next, our objective of the heart, and that is to realize the value of writing correct informative essays. I've seen that in all your learning. So check. And then our last is the, of course, our skill, and that is to compose an informative essay. Yes, and that is a continuation because we will be having our assignment. Now, this is a very special assignment, and I really need to see your work about this. I want you to write an informative essay using all the learnings that we had today about the benefits of watching Itolai sessions. Okay, I would like you to work on this with the heart. Okay, so I will know your answers. Don't forget that you can submit this to my Facebook page or to Tutor Arnell's Facebook account.